This is your girl Yannick Taylor, aka Priestess, hostess of Conversations with the Priestess. Here's a preview of what you may hear on Conversations with the Priestess.
We weren't meant for monogamy, let's be honest. Like, we have needs, let's be real. And communicating that, what you want, what you don't want, what sets up. Now this drink is brown, because I learned something. Since I'm older, I can't do brown liquor anymore. Also, I noticed since I started on hormone replacement therapy, HRT, in 2015, me and certain liquors don't match well. I don't know whether...
And I recognize that a lot of men love to be dominated by women. And that's because men are seen as these leaders, as this big alpha male dominant being. And because they're put on this pedestal of being leaders, sometimes they want to be submissive. Back when I cosplayed a Butch Queen in South Carolina around 2011, I was on Craigslist. This is when Craigslist was bumping and before they had gotten rid of the personal section. I hope you enjoyed that preview. Join me on Wednesdays at 9 p.m. for Priestess After Dark. Full video versions of the podcast can be found on patreon.com/CWT Priestess, and join me on Fridays at noon for our regular Friday post. Live, love, and be free. Smooches.
Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, anywhere you download and stream podcasts.
Four Pillar Sports, a podcast for sports fans, made by sports fans. Join Chris and Randy every week as they dive deep into football, basketball, baseball, and professional wrestling. Catch For Pillar Sports on all major platforms. And remember, keep on talking sports.
What's going on, Royal Priesthood? Welcome to another episode of Conversations with the Priestess. Trigger warning, this episode deals with church trauma and church abuse, and we will be talking about some graphic things as well in this podcast, as it is the month of May. So, this episode is brought to you by Classic Trainwreck, Great Sativa. Check the show notes below for where I found this. And hey, live, love, and be free. Subscribe, like, share, follow. Hit that intro. It's me, the priestess, and I'm back. I apologize for not doing an episode last week. It's been a great week. However, life has been lifing, and I've had some projects that I have been working on for my job. I have some goals that I want to meet. Yes, I'm working on music, but my mental health has been priority. However, along with therapy and resting and taking my medicine, i.e. the classic train wreck, hallelujah, that blessed herb, music has been therapy for me as well. Music is my life, and I've really gone back to my roots of gospel, as gospel is my foundation, and it will always be a part of my music career, part of my life at this point, even though I'm no longer Christian and I'm deconstructing. The message is different for me, and the music that I've been listening to is the great Dr. Bobby Jones and the New Life, featuring the late Emily Harris, Miss Francine Belcher Smith, Beverly Crawford, Nuana Dunlap, Angela Prim. I remember all of the videos and the praise breaks, and I love me some Miss Nuana Dunlap because she played not only the bass and lead guitar, but she could sing, play that piano, play drums, and she would minister and give you a great word. And not to mention Beverly Crawford tearing up the stage. And being able to go on YouTube and find clips from the beginning of Dr. Bobby Jones' legacy has been a great joy. And I've really been celebrating and honoring him in listening to the works that he's done with New Life and the Nashville Super Choir. And Dr. Bobby Jones is instrumental in the gospel music industry for over 40 years. He's helped boost the careers of the Clark sisters, BB and CeCe Winans, the Barrett sisters, Kirk Franklin, Jacqueline Carr, so many various gospel artists. Even some of your favorite R&B artists have been on there, and he's boosted their career. And to hear him sing along with the New Life singers brings so many memories back, particularly around this Mother's Day season. And my heart goes out to everyone whose mother is now an angel, who is now an ancestor. I send my love to you all. For those whose mother figures is no longer with us. And a happy Mother's Day to all mothers, with us and those that are beyond. I have also been honoring my grandmother, been venerating her. My grandmother is the reason why I love music. And even through the moments of grief, I'm able to find joy in listening to some of her favorite cuts. And one of the favorite sounds that I know she enjoyed was not only the Barrett sisters and the Clark sisters, but she enjoyed Dr. Bobby Jones' gospel because on Sunday mornings, getting ready for church, she would make sure Dr. Bobby Jones is on because you had to play some gospel on Sunday morning in her house. And we would give commentary about his suits and, some of the more fleshly things that were happening. And I'm going to get to that in a moment. But one of the cuts that I've really been playing, two of the cuts actually have been I'm in His Care, or In His Care. I'm in His care. Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm in His care. And you better be ready. You don't know the hour. Oh, yeah. You better be ready, 'cause He's coming back with power. I've been listening to those two cuts, and those come from the historic album Bring It to Jesus. This album is over 30 years old, and I recently watched the 30th anniversary celebration where they honored not only the late Emily Harris, who was also a part of the New Life ensemble, but they honored the songwriter of the song Bring It to Jesus and many other people. The link to this video will be posted in the show notes. And it was great to see the group still singing, even though they were missing one of their sisters of the group. And of course, I went down a rabbit hole, of course, but these songs have been a staple in my repertoire. But also, I remember my grandmother playing these songs and singing different gospel songs. And I've been playing a plethora of songs from different gospel artists. And this has really been helping me mentally. This has also helped me in writing and creating content and being able to sleep at night. But also being reminded of the love that my grandmother shared for the world and the kindness that she shared. I miss my grandma, but I must say those praise breaks were epic indeed. And I still love watching praise break videos. And granted, praise breaks are good, but let's be real. There are times when people do a little too much in praise breaks, but then there are times as well in which you have people that are really praising God to get a breakthrough. And this brings me to an infamous situation that we saw all over social media with Pastor Keion. Correction. That pastor's name is Keion Henderson, who is Shawnee Henderson's basketball wife, Shawnee Henderson's husband.
Four Pillar Sports, a podcast for sports fans, made by sports fans. Join Chris and Randy every week as they dive deep into football, basketball, baseball, and professional wrestling. Catch For Pillar Sports on all major platforms. And remember, keep on talking sports.
In this particular setup, this young woman, he's ministering and singing a gospel song, as pastors do. And it's customary in praise and worship after the before the pastor's doing altar call, after he's preached the people to a frenzy, he'll sing and he'll usher in the presence of Yah or God, and he'll flow in that way so that people can break through spiritually, tap in with spirit, release those frustrations, get a clear mind on how to handle whatever is going on with their day, communicate with God or their ancestors, and do their thing. And in this clip, we see a woman while he's ministering. She's having a good old Baptist fit there. Oh, glory. Oh, for reference, I need y'all to go listen to Your Grace and Mercy. There's a young woman who's getting her breakthrough, and no one said anything to her, and this is going to be pivotal. So in the clip, Henderson is ministering. He says, he goes to this woman, tell her to hush, and he starts snapping at her like a dog, saying, the only voice I want to hear is his voice. And immediately the woman hushes. And he goes on in a later video talking about he believes in authority in his house and in God's house and all of this thing. And it's so many layers to this. First and foremost, in the old church, and typically in church, if a person is so caught up in their praise that it could possibly be distracting, the ushers or the mothers of the church or the people that they call the nurses in the church would kindly usher them out to another part of the sanctuary to where there wouldn't be distracting service, but they would be praying them through, talking with them, helping them get a breakthrough. And of course, also, if that person was being a distraction, some of the deacons as well as the mothers would remove that person and give them a talking to. Now, in this clip, what we see is the pastor snapping at this woman. And it bothered me a lot because, number one, the way he did it, you all are, number one, streaming on this church. And this is why I say some churches do not need to stream. If you are a leader who does not yet know how to talk to people, then you don't need to stream. And I'm so glad that my former pastor did not stream for a time untold, because he was the same type of leader that we're getting ready to describe. And if you were a champion in Washington, D.C., I need y'all to chime in and say hello, because y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. Anyway, so he snaps at this woman, and it was so many things there. So first and foremost, let's start at the point where he tells her to hush. I'm watching this video. I'm like, she's really going in. You know, I hope somebody's helping her. And then he tells her to hush. Number one, sir, you're flowing in ego. We see nothing positive about this. And the fact that he told her to hush and snapped at her like a dog, and she immediately hushed, it shows a level of abuse and narcissism from this leader, that this is not the only person that he handles like that. And also, her reaction, this isn't the first time he's gotten nasty with her specifically. Now, the fact that he said the only voice that I want to hear is his voice. No, sir. The voice that you wanted to hear was your voice. And a lot of times we have leaders that will throw their weight around in this manner and use God as the cover for them being nasty with people. Even the church mothers of old would do shit like this. And I found that to be very disrespectful. And I can't explain the emotions, the shame, and the self-hatred that one feels when a church leader handles you like that and embarrasses you like that. Now, in his explanation, as he so eloquently did on the Tamron Hall show, he said that this had been an ongoing problem with her for 4 years. And he still allowed her to be on the stage. That's a red flag right there. So my question is, what exactly was the problem that you have been having with this woman? And number one, why in the hell are you going on national TV talking about this woman's personal business and embarrassing her like that? What was the purpose, sir? You had no real motive. That should have been something that was handled in-house. And you should not have embarrassed her, number one, on the live stream. You should have your ushers and not security escort her out like that. There was a way to handle that, sir, and you did not do that. But he's saying that this was an issue for 4 years. And my question is, why was it an issue for 4 years? If you've talked to her, it should not have continued to be a problem. If it was a problem, she needed to be what we would call being sat down, or you needed to put her in another auxiliary, or advise that she find another church home that would be more conducive to her, and I hate to say have someone go to another ministry, but I'm really feeling like it's not giving what is being portrayed, in my opinion, and by him sensationalizing this on the Tamron Hall show. And we haven't heard this woman's side of the story yet. I'm going to address some more. It's giving very much, she has some things going on, and he has been exploiting that and using her as a spiritual and emotional punching bag by still having her on the stage. Sir, if it's been a problem, why was she even on the stage? I'm looking at you funny, because now you're using this woman's vulnerability and possible issues, because we don't know what was really going on. You're using that as a means for clout, and to also promote your wife's book. This is exactly what you're doing. And I hate that it was out there published like that for the woman's sake, but this gives us a view of what people are dealing with religious leaders, the things that people are having to put up with unnecessarily. And it's just plain out wrong. And see, my thing is, the fact that he did this to a woman, if this had have been a man, he would have said, that's right, brother. Go ahead and praise God. Y'all, help this brother get through. He's getting his breakthrough. No, but because it was a woman, and the Black church has a history of demeaning black women, and telling her that she cannot serve and just denigrate her. The great late Dr. Iona Locke preached about the same thing. We see this is how the Black church specifically looks at Black women, as to be submissive, as the man is the head. And no. If it is Black women who is the foundation of the Black church, and who is the reason why the Black church is still merely surviving today. And again, if it had been a man, it wouldn't have gave all of that. And also, I feel like he did this because he knew this woman may or may not have been protected, may or may not have had a support system. Even in the comments of the various videos that I've seen, people are trashing this woman and co-signing on this man's behavior, saying he set order. But my question is, why did you wait 4 years for this? Why was she even on the stage? You shouldn't even allow her up there. So what was the real motive of your actions, sir? You didn't handle that properly. And this is why people are leaving the church in droves. Again, this is why people are leaving the church in droves. And I just don't get why people are co-signing on this. And seeing how people are defending this man, and seeing how even some people allegedly from her church are saying she does this every Sunday, it's really giving cult behavior, because no one says anything about Sister Sally, who dances up and down the aisle every Sunday. No one says anything to Brother John, who goes up there and prances around the pulpit trying to seduce the women and womanizing people. I've lived and grew up in this stuff. And this is nothing but abuse. But this is also what happens when you give the wrong people a platform, and give the wrong people power, and give them an area to air their inferiority complexes and their narcissism, because that behavior reeked of narcissism and possible sociopathy. I'm just going to call it like it is. But when is it going to be enough for people to stop funding these abusive ass institutions? From my own experience, I will never forget, I was very depressed one Sunday, and I'm in the midst of my transition, and my former pastor says to me, you need to get yourself together. You don't need to transition. And he said this in front of guests, and I was so embarrassed. I'm like, sir, this is something you could have talked to me in private instead of embarrassing me. And people will do that. And he did that because I moved to this area. I didn't have family close by. I'm vulnerable because I'm in the midst of transition. And he used my vulnerability against me. Damn, I couldn't get that out. And this is the type of shit that a lot of religious and spiritual leaders that aren't even Christianity, because we've seen on social media these different so-called tarot readers, these different spiritual gurus come out to be the most narcissistic, cult people, abusive people, predatory people that you ever want to meet. And it goes in the church. And it's sad that the church, especially a place that's supposed to be a symbol of hope and fortitude, has fallen from grace since the civil rights movement into this place of predators, a symbol of wealth. I have a problem when your leader is riding in a new Bugatti and a new Bentley, flaunting a new $100,000 pair of shoes, when your communities and the people in your community can barely rub two nickels together to survive. But you want them to tithe. And if they can't tithe, instead, you'll sit there and penalize them and trash them instead of going to see what's going on. Do they need any food to eat? Do they need resources? What happened to the church that actually went out and fed the widows, that actually went out and helped the community? What about the non-judgmental church folks that still encouraged the gay people to church and didn't condemn them? Because there was some out there in my time. Where is the people that are really fighting against systems of oppression? I'm going to need y'all to bring it to Jesus and get for real. If you've made it this far in the podcast, don't forget to leave me a mermaid emoji in the comment section or in the reviews. I just want us to do better and be better people. And I really want us to really start divesting from institutions that are harming us continually. I want y'all to live, love, and be free. Smooches.